Because behind you guys is a new project. This ugly ass Nismo wing. 240's gone. She's seized.
I don't try nobody, give a trick. Call up the gang and they come and get gang. Call me a river, get through with tissue.
So the cool thing about Nissans is everything's a 10, 12, 14, or 17. So pretty much you can take apart this whole car with those. I'm gonna pull off the covers now. Alright, so we got the strut bar, intake, cover off. Intake and strut bar is going to go back in, so I'm going to throw those in the trunk. I guess I can start taking the headlights and bumper off. This bumper's not staying. It's hideous. Straight to the bumper's pulled off. Going to pull the headlights out, throw those in the trunk. Throw all the old parts into the trunk. We got the front bumper off, headlights off, intake off, strut bar, front cover. Throw this inside of the garage, and I'm just going to continue to pull this thing apart. So I forgot, power steering lines have to come off before the front support can come off. I really hate this part. We did it on Travis's Z and it was a pain. Alright guys, it's cold out here right now. Back working on the Z. We're gonna try and get this engine out. We'll see. Gotta drain the coolant and pull the radiator, pull the harness off, pull the transmission bolts off, and engine mounts. Should be good to come out. So we'll get this radiator off, pull the AC out of the way. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run it yet. Alright guys, so we got the radiator off. The AC I'm just gonna push to the side because I may keep AC. We'll see. Now I'll undo the heater core hoses, the vacuum hoses, and I'll pull the harness off. All the vacuum lines, coolant lines, wire harness, and tie mounts. Hold on guys, it's the next day here. And last night, like I said, we were going to pick up the engine. If you guys remember, we swapped a new VQ into a white 350Z last winter. It has rod knock, but I'm gonna rebuild it. Hopefully the crank's not bad. Hopefully there's not a bad rod. Worst comes to worst, we have rods and hopefully a good crank in that engine. So if the crank or rods aren't savable in this engine, then we'll pull that one apart and pull them out of that, and hopefully they're savable from that. So yeah, I have to finish pulling that engine, but here's the new engine. It was free, rebuild, like bearings, head gasket, head studs, not head studs, head bolts, and like a majority of like every gasket on this engine, it would be like 300 bucks. And to buy a VQ that you don't know anything about, could be blown, could have blown head gaskets, could have knock, somewhere from like 700 to 1300. So the plan is to get that VQ out, pull that over here, put it on the ground because we don't have another stand. Maybe I'll buy another stand, they're like 40 bucks. Push the Z out, just leave it on the side until the engine's ready to go back in. That way we can slap the engine in. It'll take like a night, maybe two, get it running. Then we can drive it in and out of the garage and it's not stuck, taking up the garage too. Let's finish pulling that engine right now, or try and finish pulling it, and then worst comes to worst, I don't finish today, come back tomorrow. Alright, so like I was saying, day 3, back at pulling this engine. There's not too much left. There's the starter down bottom, transmission bolts, and the engine bolts. And then it'll be ready to come out. There's a couple sensors down here I can't really get to. Well, I can see them better now, but I'm gonna put some speedy dry down on all this stuff, and then I'll get back to taking this thing apart. Alright, so all we have left is the engine mounts and the transmission bolts. The starter's down there too, but I'll count that as transmission bolts. Power steering is unhooked. I forgot about that, but that's good. Coolant hoses are all unhooked. I'll start pulling off transmission bolts from the top. So we just got the VQ. Everything is ready. Besides the AC, I'm not sure if I'm keeping it or not, but everything else is ready. AC is the last thing. Engine mounts, harness, coolant lines, transmission bolts. It's all off. So once we get back from picking up the hood for this, we'll give her the pull and push her out until the VQ is ready to go back in. Alright guys, so 3 days later, about an hour or two going at it each day, the VQ's out. We can bring her over, we can push this thing out and start rebuilding the other VQ. Alright guys, so it's like a few days after I filmed the last video. I don't know if I filmed it, but the VQ is out. I'm gonna move this. I don't know if the way, and then we have to push the Z out. Carbon fiber hood is on. You can see it. It's not the cleanest, but it just needs to be cleaned. Like, I don't know. But I'm debating on keeping these black. I mean silver, or painting them black. We'll see. But this is where I'm going to end this video, so it's not too long. This is the latest video. Subscribe if you want to see this build.